BBC presents Satellite 7, an adventure serial in 8 parts by Angus McVicker. The storyteller is 15-year-old Jake Thompson. Part 5, Late Night Rendezvous.
That afternoon in the launching bay, we solved one mystery. Professor Walters and his scientists were planning to send a rocket round the moon and bring it back again to Shuna. But we still didn't know who had tried to sabotage the timing apparatus, though luckily Roderick McIntyre soon discovered the fault and repaired it. That night, Tony and I went to bed early and lay talking to each other in the dark.
Another thing, Jake. Why were the professor and Roderick McIntyre so forthcoming this afternoon? Why did they confide in us? I mean, in their eyes, we were only kids, but they treated us like distinguished scientific visitors.
The professor wanted to make up for being so suspicious.
Well, maybe, but there was more to it than that. Why should he give us all the details of a top-secret operation?
Oh, I don't suppose he would have done if the launching date was still the 21st. But they're firing the rocket tomorrow at 1000 hours. It couldn't do any harm at this late stage.
Yes, you may be right there, too, but I don't know. I felt they had a definite purpose in telling us so much.
Oh, you're making a mystery out of nothing, Tony.
Now, look, Jake, motives are always a mixture. Nothing in this life is ever clean-cut black and white. The professor was probably trying to be friendly, but there was some other reason as well, I'm sure of it.
There's only one other possible reason.
What's that?
Well, he may have thought that by telling us about the launching at 10 tomorrow, he was also telling the spy.
Now you're talking, Jake. But what I can't understand is why he should want the spy to know. Whoever it is, the spy, he's desperate. He's already tried to sabotage the timing apparatus, and, well, when he knows the rocket's going off tomorrow, he may get more desperate still.
Maybe that's just it. The professor's trying to force his hand to make him act in too much of a hurry and give the show away.
Jake, has it occurred to you that the professor himself may be the spy? Or at any rate in league with the spy?
What? The professor?
Yes. Or McIntyre.
Gosh, but suppose you could be right.
Oh, anyway, we can't do much about it at the moment. Oh, it's nearly 1 o'clock in the morning. I vote we try a spot of shut-eye and we'll see what we can do.
Wait! What was that?
Sounded like the front door. Somebody going out.
At this time of night?
I'll have a look. You can just see the front path from this window, and there's a moon.
See anything?
Yes. Yes. It's Mr. O'Neill, heading for the high bank between the cliffs.
Bridie says he often goes out for midnight walks when he stops writing.
Sure, but it might be a good idea to follow him and see exactly where he does go.
Tony, you don't mean that.
I don't mean anything. But as I said, it's up to us to keep a sharp lookout, Jake. Come on, get your flannels and jersey on.
Okay, Tony.
If we go out by the window, nobody will hear us.
Right.
Hurry up, Jake. We don't want Mr. O'Neill to get too far ahead of us. Keep going, Jake. We're almost at the top.
Okay, Tony. Are you sure he went this way?
Pretty certain. I caught sight of his leather jacket a couple of minutes ago, glinting in the moonlight going over the top. Oh, here we are. Oh, there are the lights of the station.
Phew, I'm warm. No engine tonight, Tony.
I noticed that. It's like a sleeping beast gathering its strength.
Yes. Tony, yonder he is, going downhill, about 100 yards in front.
Yes, heading for the station. I thought we'd spot him from here. Come on.
It's a queer direction to be going for a midnight walk.
That remains to be seen.
We can't be going in. The guards would stop them.
It depends. Wait. Look, he's not going in. He's turning right, see? Towards the rocks above the cliff.
So he is.
Easy now, Jake. He may spot us if we get any closer.
Okay. Wait, he stopped. Beside that big boulder.
Hold it. Yes. Yes, you're right. Get down, quick. This tuft of heather will do. Come on.
He seems to be waiting for something.
Or somebody.
Yes.
I thought so. Yonder, see? Coming up the slope from the station.
What? Golly, it's Billy Hackett.
It's Billy, all right.
But what does it mean? Mr. O'Neill and Billy meeting here at 1:30 in the morning?
Your guess is as good as mine, Jake. Look, we'll try and wriggle forward towards that clump of winds over there, see? We might be able to hear them better from there.
Right.
Shh. Be careful, Jake, for goodness sake.
Sorry, it was a loose twig. I didn't see it.
They don't seem to have heard. Come on. We're almost there. Easy does it. Right. We're quite hidden here among the winds.
Oh, I'm all prickles already.
Oh, be your age, Jake. Can you hear anything?
Not a thing.
Oh, the wind's in the wrong direction for a start. What's that Billy's doing?
Handing something over. Mr. O'Neill's put it in his pocket.
Looked like an envelope to me.
I think it was an envelope. Golly, they're coming this way.
Billy must be walking part of the way back with them. Not a sound.
What's more, Mr. O'Neill, he don't suspect a thing. Honest, he don't.
I hope you're right. Now that the launching's been put forward, we've got to work fast.
Look, what about facing up to him?
Too risky. We can't afford to make a mistake.
But that note I gave you...
We need more than that. But remember, the important thing is to change the ammunition.
Sure, leave that to me. But you have your own gun handy, just in case, eh?
Don't worry. But there's another thing, Billy. It's been puzzling me a lot.
Tony, do you hear that?
I certainly did.
We've got to work fast, Mr. O'Neill said. Gosh, I just can't believe it.
Believe what?
Mr. O'Neill and Billy are the spies. I mean, they're both so decent and friendly. And then there's Bridie.
Oh, spies are always decent and friendly. It's part of their camouflage. What makes you think that Mr. O'Neill and Billy are the spies?
You heard them, didn't you? About the ammunition and the gun.
I know, but... Have they gone?
There's not a sign of them. What do we do now?
Wait here in the winds for another 10 minutes.
Well, do we have to? It's pretty uncomfortable. Are we going to tell the professor about what they were saying?
Oh, I still think the least said, soonest mended, Jake. We don't want to complicate things, especially for Professor Walters. He'll have enough to worry him by 10 o'clock tomorrow morning.
But they've given themselves away, and Mr. O'Neill and Billy... Oh!
What's wrong?
The winds. They're prickly.
Oh, never mind that. Look, Jake, I think I've worked it out. I think I know who it is.
The spy, you mean?
Yes. Make yourself as comfortable as possible for a minute, and I'll explain. You'll forget all about the prickles when I tell you something.
What Tony said convinced me all right. It also convinced me that the whole business was very tricky. If we spoke out of turn, we might upset everything, including the launching of Satellite 7. We went back to the cottage and got into our room again by way of the window. Strangely enough, after all the excitement, we both went to sleep at once. But at 4 o'clock in the morning...
Who's that?
Me, O'Neill. Get up quickly. A message has just come from the station.
A message?
One of the guards brought it. 0 hour has been changed again.
Golly!
Come on up, you get, Jake.
The rocket now goes off at 6 o'clock. 4 hours earlier than we thought.
So that's why the professor spoke so frankly yesterday afternoon. You were right, Jake.
He must have known it all the time it would be 6 o'clock.
Hurry, boy.
He made all his calculations.
Exactly. I quite agree. I think he wanted to surprise someone.
Wait a minute, just put my shoe on. There. Right, Mr. O'Neill.
Good.
We're ready now.
Now, we have to report to the launching bay by 5:30 at the latest. Granny and Bridie are making some breakfast for us in the kitchen.
Come away, Miss Brady. You're not eating a thing.
I'm not hungry, Granny.
I know it's early to be having breakfast, but it may be a long time before we get another decent meal. The last time we were up at the station for our launching, all we got was a cup of tea. I'm sure you remember.
Oh, I do remember, but this is different.
She's still half asleep. Isn't that the trouble, Bride?
No, it isn't, Father. It's just that I can't help thinking of that big rocket. What if something goes wrong?
Even if it does go wrong, Brady, we'll be all right. Under all that concrete.
I shouldn't worry. If there's any kind of failure near the ground, there are special precautions. Walters told me so himself. An atomic explosion is impossible until the motor comes into action in the stratosphere. By then it will be too high to do any harm.
Your father was talking sense, dear. When the scientists came to Shuna at first, I was like you, worried and anxious about the things I didn't know about. The rockets and the strange engines that wail and screech like banshees in the dark. But my daughters and my son wrote to me explaining all about it, and I decided I was foolish to be worrying. I put my trust in Providence, Miss Bride.
Oh, I know that's how I should feel, Granny, but I'm not so much afraid of getting hurt. What I'm really afraid of is that the whole thing will be a terrible failure, and all the other countries will make fun of us.
Somehow I don't think Professor Walters is going to fire a dud. If you remember, he was in charge of our first 3 launchings. He hasn't had a failure yet.
Gosh, just think of it, Mr. O'Neill. In another 12 hours or so, by 6 o'clock this evening, we may be looking at pictures of the hidden side of the moon.
Maybe they'll show traces of old buildings, sure. Remains of a vanished civilization.
I shouldn't think so for 1 minute, Jake. Most astronomers seem to think that both sides of the moon are alike. Dry, cratered plains of powdered pumice stone.
Oh, well, and what does it matter anyway? It's not the moon that's important. It's that ordinary folk should have the courage to reach out for it.
Now, there you are. There speaks the true philosopher. Oh, my goodness, look at the time. Here we'll have to get a move on.
Oh, well, come on then, Brady. We better get the table.
Come on, Jake.
Yes,
We'll collect our things in the bedroom. Come on.
Tony. Okay, Tony. Tony, can't we do something?
About the spy, you mean?
Yes. Anything may happen before 6 o'clock.
Easy now, Jake, easy. I told you the spy suspects nothing. And when the rocket does go off at 6 o'clock, there may be a big surprise in store for... You know who I mean.
That was part 5 of Angus McVicker's adventure serial Satellite 7, produced in the Scottish studios of the BBC.